going to gather the small amount of glass for the first part of the Dolphin, and squash the sides, put a bit of light blue and dark blue on. The reason I've squashed the sides is so I don't get too much of a patch of the colour. I try and keep a little gap between each colour so I can add the ashes in a minute when I've melted the colours in. So there's a little gap I've left between the colours, and that's when I'll add the ashes in a minute. And I've got to heat the little chips in a little bit, so they're all lumpy. It's about 1,200 degrees in there. Now heat the glass up pretty fast to melt the cold glass back into the molten glass. Obviously the bigger lumps take a little bit longer. You can see them in there. Now I'm going to go and add the ashes. So squash the colour down a little bit. Can't add too much ashes because it'll make the glass crack. So we only add a very small amount, but it shows up really well. When you see the actual finished product, you wouldn't believe there's like literally a quarter of a teaspoon in that, and the rest of the ashes get left behind and returned to customers. Same again, we're going to heat the glass back up to let the ashes melt in. The ashes won't actually melt into the glass, they'll just stick to the surface. That's one of the reasons why I twist it up and give it like 3D patterns and twirls, twists. I said that completely wrong. And one of the reasons why I twist up the glass is to give it lovely three-dimensional patterns when you look through it. And when you see through the paperweight, you can see all the patterns inside. You can make up whatever sort of designs and patterns your own mind can see. Must be some crap, man, don't I? Now I'm going to push the ashes in a little bit so I don't create bubbles. Gently twist it into the glass, give it a bit of a spiral. We will clean up all the excess ashes after and put them back in the tub with the original ashes. This is a pretty cool part now. I'm going to let the glass droop off the end, literally let it fall off the end and then gently wind it all up to create some nice swirls and patterns. It's a bit nerve-wracking when you've done it for the first couple of times. Obviously we don't do have ashes on while you're learning, and it gives some lovely patterns going all the way through the glass rather than just on the outside of the glass. Makes it look much more interesting. As I'm making a Dolphin, I'm going to shape this and elongate it a little bit, trying to mimic the inside of the shape of the Dolphin. I'm sweating. Shaping and preparing it ready for the next gather. So all the ashes and all the colour are all in the glass now. All the patterns and swirls are all done. All the patterns and designs are all done. So let this cool down, and I'm going to go back to the furnace, gather glass over the top. Then I can heat it so that I've got to reheat it so the inside's the same temperature as the outside, like literally 1100 degrees. Then I'm going to proceed to shape and make the Dolphin. Starting off with the nose and fins. I'll talk you through it bit by bit. So gathering the glass is basically dipping this bit back into the pot. So inside the furnace we've got a big pot, basically like a bucket, a bowl of water. And in there we've got a ceramic pot full of molten glass. I can dip this in. I can't dip it into the water because that'll blow up. But if I dip it into molten glass, I can proceed to gather it and scoop up the glass. The technique to get the glass on there is a lot harder than it looks. Once you can't literally just dip it in and pull it out, otherwise all the glass falls off. I don't know whether you can get over my shoulder and see it or not. So literally push this glass under the surface, slowly turn it, making it just even all the way around, coming out to a nice little point on the end, let it break away and pull it out the furnace. Leaving less mess. Now I've got to heat this up a little bit now because the bit of glass inside, what I cooled down, is quite hard. I won't be able to shape or move the glass. So I'm letting the temperature go right back through the glass before I can start shaping whatever animal I'm making. At this particular time we're going to make a Dolphin. The Financial Times newspaper. Best thing for shaping the glass. And all the crap they write in the paper seems to burn really well. Take 2. I'll try and pull the beak out to start with. Not too long. Top fin and side fins. Just getting them all lined up in the right place to start with. Cut the back end where the pipe is, otherwise you won't be able to get the Dolphin off at the end. As you see the metal bar stuck right inside the glass, the blowing pipe. I'm going to give it a little swing a minute, try and get a fat back. Done. It's all about timing. You can't rush nothing. I'll reheat now. If I actually had a good vocabulary, I could talk through this really well. If I haven't. Need David Attenborough to come and give me a hand. Squash the thin. Line them all up. I was just thinking to myself, I didn't get this one hot enough at the start and I haven't got enough curvature on the body. I'm happy with it. I'm trying to get more heat in it. Let's get the shape a little bit better. Even to get this to a half decent stage, I reckon I've made well upwards over 1,000 of them. It's not the sort of thing you can just look at and make first time and perfect. You've got to be pretty determined to make it look good. Now time for the face. Josh, don't go too far, mate. First part done. Now you gotta wait for Josh to make a punty, and we are then going to stick a punty on the head where the blowhole goes. I'm going to put a little bit of water on the back, which will crack the glass like this. Look, I put a drip of water on glass, it cracks. When I put it on that bit, when the punty is stuck on there, a little tap on the bar and it'll break off. It's going to stick its punty where the blowhole goes. When we finish, we can cover it up. A little bit of water which cracks the hot glass. A nice little tap. Now we can proceed to heat up the back of the Dolphin and cut and pull the tail out. Come here. Now, as you can see, the end of that Dolphin is rock solid and sharp. I've got to heat that back to lava now, so I can pull and shape the tail right out from the back. Takes a little while now. I can't go, if you come and film here, look, I can't go right in the Glorio. If I push that right in the Glorio, all the work I've originally done will melt into a blob. So we've got to stay just outside the door, let the heat come all the way through, slowly back through the end. So it doesn't damage or destroy the fins we've already made, already pulled. It takes a bit of patience. 3 minutes in, look, we're starting to get a bit of temperature in the end, but it's still not hot enough through the middle. I will actually squash and re-pull the fins in a minute because they are already starting to round off because of the heat. It's probably rocking about 1,250 degrees in there. Still not hot enough to pull yet. So squashing the tail, pull up slowly. I'm going to cut the end off to give it a better shape. Pair of scissors, look, nice hot glass. Cuts lovely and easy. Tail's a bit fat now, so I use a pair of scissors to gently crimp it in a bit, give it a better body shape. Slowly pull it upwards and out, and then down to the curve of the Dolphin. Getting the timing of all these little bits is what gives you the full shape at the end. Even now I'm pulling it, but it's the timing of pulling the glass that's giving the shape of the Dolphin. You can't just get it hot and just pull this straight out. Otherwise you won't get the curvature of the Dolphin. You just won't look right. Whoa. Make sure it sits up flat. Gently put the fin down. Let that set. You see it move a little bit then? That should set now in front of the fan. There we go. A little blue and white Dolphin Ashes in. Not bad. Bit of heat and the tails don't crack. Now we've got to chip it off and melt the blowhole into where the punt is stuck on the head. So a little tap tap. That leaves a little sharp circle behind here, let me see on the surface. With our blow torch, nice little flame. Slowly warm it up so you don't burn the glass. A bit too gassy. Do this nice and slowly, otherwise you burn the glass and you get white oxidated bubbles in the surface. They don't look very good. And gently push the bits that are overhanging in. And then give it a little blowhole. There you go. Straight in the oven to cool down. Spend the night in the oven. 500 degrees.
Good day's work.
I just cooled off a bit. Huh? Yeah. Make 2 or 3 items, sweat it till it's off and go outside for 5 minutes.